Ethical considerations in action research. Action research is distinctive from other research forms in its focus both on action and research. And it must be remembered that the ethics applies to both. We need to consider the ethical implications of the actions we are taking and the normal ethical considerations regarding research. All of the usual research principles apply to action research. These include respect for accurate disclosure. Our participants must be accurately informed about the research. Beneficence. We must do no harm to our participants, and our research must be aimed at producing some greater good. We must respect the confidentiality of our participants, and this can present some problems for action research. We must report our findings honestly and with integrity. And we must respect the privacy of our participants and others. It's also vital that we follow the particular ethical codes of our involved institutions. This includes the academic institution, the university or similar, on whose behalf and within whom we are performing the research. This involves the school or other particular context in which we are researching, and the Department of Education. It's vital that we maintain the safety of our participants. While safety may not be a big issue in some areas of educational research, there may not be huge safety considerations in a change of mathematics textbook, for example. In other areas, such as practical science experiments or outdoor education, safety concerns must be kept at the forefront. We must make sure that we gain the correct permissions. These will depend very much on the particular setting. In an educational context, that will usually mean the Department of Education, the school, in the form of the particular school principal or other gatekeepers, it may well include other teachers who are going to be affected by the methods we intend to use to gain our data, and it's going to involve students. This presents particular problems since in most educational settings, students are minors. We must be therefore particularly careful to respect their privacy. And we need to be particularly careful in, for example, interviews, which will often be one-on-one with students that present particular ethical considerations in schools. We must be mindful of the particular student-teacher relationship and the power imbalance involved. And we must remember that interviews remain the property of the participants. Where our interviewees or other participants are minors, we are going to need the permission of parents. And permission, parental permission, or from other bodies, requires informed consent. This can be particularly difficult in certain settings. Informing meaningfully informed consent from, for example, the parents of EAL students who may themselves have little language access and little exposure to educational research, can be challenging to achieve. In action research in particular, then, we must pay full attention to the general principles of the ethics of research in education, and we must also be mindful of the particular actions we are taking, and that we do not wish to disadvantage in any way the participants in our study.